Thing. And today I'm going to speak about another famous rabbi, Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh, a rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before inside this series over here. He actually passed away, I think his Hilula's Yutet Adar, 19th of Adar, so it's not the time of his Hilula at the moment because we're just about to get into Sukkot, but I thought it's an opportune time to speak about the great rabbi in of itself, very famous rabbi in his time he happened to have been, and a lot can be said with regards to his brilliance. I think he was actually born, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the 21st of Av, back in the year 1913, and he passed away Yutet Adar in the year 2000, 25th of February. That was naturally. He'd go on to become a דיין, a more judge, a more tzedek also, in the city of the port of Canitrà in Morocco, a rabbi in Rabat also, and in Casablanca also. Various different places. He was very well decorated as a great rabbi. So born in 1913, I believe he was born in an area called Tifi Lalat in Morocco, that happened to be, or Tindad respectively. And he passed away in Kinitrah in Morocco. He was 87 years of age at that point in time. Actually, he was a Talmid of two great rabbis, Rabbi Makhluf Abu Khatsera and Rabbi Raphael Borch Toledano, arguably two of the most famous Moroccan rabbis of their era respectively. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born, as we said before, in a village, I think, next to Tifilalat or in Tifilalat, Morocco, and came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rabbi Yosef Ben Harosh, and his mother's name was Rabbanit Chana. We're going to speak a bit about his father in the coming minutes also. I think, obviously, his father, I think, was the author of Torah book, Gibeah Yosef, and teachings on the Ohel Yosef, which we're going to speak about also. And I believe his father also was a more tzedek in the ear of Prikla, respectively, in of itself, and would learn, yes, that's interesting. So he would learn the great Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh under auspices of Rabbi Makhluf Abu Khatsera and also Rabbi Raphael Borch Toledano. These were two great rabbis. Remember, we've spoken about both of them in various occasions for many rabbis connected to Rabbi Raphael Borch Toledano. We've talked about them also, and obviously Rabbi of Meknes, respectively. Now, it's interesting, Rabbi Yehiya would go on to get married, I believe, to I think, if I'm not mistaken, would get married to the daughter of Rabbi Avram David Rebach. Just give me a second. The daughter of Rabbi Avram David Rebach, who was another very famous rabbi. I think we've spoken about on various occasions before here on this series. Rabbi Avram David Rebach, I believe, I think we actually spoke about him just in the last. We actually recorded a video on him just a few days ago. Let's just say something about Rob, his father-in-law. He was, I think, a Rosh Yeshiva in Sali. He was a rabbi in Morocco, and great rabbi, part of various different places in himself, and the author of Bayan Avram book also, and was corresponding and was part of Bet Dins and corresponding with Rabbi David Zabach, Rabbi Raphael Chaim Raphael Atiyah, Rabbi Yukru Tiel Berdugo, really rabbis in the highest caliber. So Rabbi Shlomo Berdugo, for example, in himself. So he was very, very famous. So Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh was his son-in-law, it happened to have been over there. So that was really like he had a great father-in-law to follow in the footsteps. Rabbi Rebach happened to have been the author of the Shut, the Sheilot Shuvot of the Bayan Avram in of itself. So it's interesting. We can go on within regards to Rabbi Ben Harosh. Rabbi Ben Harosh was definitely very, very interactive. He liked asking questions and answers to various of the great Rabbanim all over the world, not just in his locale in Morocco. He would even, I think, correspond with Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson of Lubavitch. Interesting enough, obviously the Lubavitch Rebbe, the Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abu Chatzera, Rabbi Chaim David Siriro, another great rabbi, and Rabbi Shalom Mashash. Remember, he would later on become the chief rabbi of Jerusalem, Rabbi Mashash, and Rabbi Yehoshua Maman, and various other great rabbanim. And now I think he would later on become appointed together with Rabbi Didier Montenegro as a דיין, and would be corresponding with the king of Morocco, Mahmoud HaChamishi, the fifth, respectively. He would, let's just say, be partnering. He was part of the Moatzot Rabbanim in Morocco also. So he was in delegation and speaking to various great rabbis all over Morocco, especially in Rabat. And he was in strong connection, especially with, especially writing letters back and forth with Rabbi Shalom Mashash. Remember, Rabbi Shalom Mashash was, as we stated on onset, I believe he was a chief rabbi of Jerusalem at one stage in time. So these were very prominent positions these great Rabbanim had over there. So we have to point that out also. So he was in corresponding, and also with the rabbis Casablanca especially, and all the different vicinities also. So more can be said within regards to him. It's actually interesting. He was definitely much more. He was doing a lot of work within regards to Zionistic activity also, and I think he would. I'd say what it says over here. With regards to his hashkafa, tamach b'mefa'al hatzionit v'ra'ab Herzl navi emet u'b'David ben Gurion v'chaim Weizmann moshi'im להשקפתו אף שאלו לא היו דתיים הם צדיקים גדולים בזכות פעולתם הכללית להצלת וכבוד ישראל. Because of the Zionistic activities and Yeshuva Eretz Israel, so on and so forth, what a great mitzvah happens when Pele Yoetz has spoken about this topic about Yeshuva Eretz Israel. כשהתבקש לארגון תרומות, so he would speak about them, also various different but he was very praiseworthy with regards to Zionistic activities of different Zionistic figures. Now it's actually reported over there was various different rulings he would have within regards to Geirut, within regards to conversion, for example. So I'll say what Wikipedia says over here, using it as a source. It says, Rabbi Yehiya noda b'giyashto hamekela b'inyan kabbalat mitzvat b'giyur ולצד דרישתו מהגר לקבל עליו את מצוות התורה לא נמנע מלגייר אף אם להרחקתו הגר לא יקפיד על שמירת המצוות כראוי. This was stated over here on Wikipedia. תחת סמכותו כדיין בית הדין לגיור בקניטרא התגיירו מאות גיירים גיורי קניטרא. בזמן האביה כתבו לגיור עבור רבים מחוכמי מרוקו ומחוצה לה, שיהיו רגילים לשלוח לו בקשות לגייר לעיתים תכופות בין הרבנים השולחים נאמנים, הרב שלום משאש, רב ידיע מונסנגו, רב אברהם אשור, רב אליעזר מור יוסף. And they talk about over here about the rabbis from France. Rabbanei Tzarfat lo ra'u ba'ain yafa et gishato hamekila b'gior. So the French rabbis seemingly did not necessarily agree with this. U'me'ed let hetilu safek u'hikbok b'kashut giro לעומת זאת הרבנות הראשית לישראל ובית דין בארץ ישראל קיבלו לא כל ספק את מעשה בית דין בראשות הרב בן הרוש. Okay, this is what it says over here in Wikipedia. גם הרב שלמה בן שבת שבעברו היו רב מרוקו בהמשך כיהן כרבה של ברצלונה, קבל על גיורו בפני הראשון לציון הרב מרדכי אליהו. הרב אליהו הורה לו להתמקד בגיור הבאים אליו מארצו ולהמשיך ידיו מלגייר נוכרים הבאים אלו מארצות אחרות כדי שלא תראה התורה כשתי תורות. This was just stated within regards to him, maybe within regards to his approach within regards to conversion. But I haven't got a specific English translation within regards to that. But as I said before, he passed away on Yutet Adar. It was back in the year 2000, so he was 87 years of age at the time the famous rabbi had passed away. Let's say a bit about his father, Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh. You see, also was a very famous rabbi. I think he passed away himself, his father. Also, a few days... his Hilula is a few days after him in the Hilula calendar on the 24th of Iyar in 1947. And that's interesting. Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh actually came from great auspices. His mother was Rabbinit Esther Shitrit and his father was Rabbi Yehiya. Interesting enough. So what's interesting, so the grandfather of Rabbi Yehiya was also Rabbi Yehiya. So it was I would assume he would have been named after his grandfather, Rabbi Yehiya. He was born, as I said before, Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh in the village of Herkala, which is in Tefilalat in Morocco. His father would learn Torah under the auspices of great rabbis, דיין, let's just say through his father, Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh would, inside the vicinity in the Parkala, and he was close with other great rabbis, Rabbi Shalom Ben Harosh, Rabbi Moshe Ben Harosh, various different great Talmudei Hamim, and also Rabbi Maimon Adahan, another great rabbi spoken about before. Now it's interesting. I think Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh would get married to twice, if I'm not mistaken. His first wife was Marat Miriam, and they would have three children, Eliyahu, Raphael, and Sarah. And then afterwards, he would get married later on to Chana. Now remember, Chana will be the mother of Rabbi Yehiya also, so we have to point out over there. And they would have 7 children. Yehiya, who would become Rabbi Yehiya, Shlomo, Yaakov, Khalifa, Shimon, Esther, the Henriette, I believe, or Chasiba, if I'm not mistaken. Now his father, I think in 1920, a lot would happen with regards from an anti-Semitism point of view in the vicinities that they were living over there at that time, especially with the Sultan of Morocco. And I think they will put up on trumped-up charges, anti-Semitic charges also, and there was a lot of problems at that stage in time. I think in the village of Risni, and unfortunately, one of the great rabbis from Abu Khatsera family was murdered, if we recollect, the Rabbi David Abu Khatsera, and I think they wanted in the year 1921, anti-Semitically, I think it was on Yud Gimel Iyar Tafresh Pei Aleph in 1921, and they tried to take Rabbi Yosef Ben Harosh to punish him with the death penalty. Remember, there was such cruel anti-Semitism we see all throughout the community at the end. But I think they were able to take him, pay them off an exorbitant amount of money, and thank God he was saved. And he would publish books, his father, in the year 1927, I think 2 books, in the city of Susa, Batunis, I think, if I'm not mistaken. One of the books was called the Givia Yosef, and the other one was a Yud Gimel Droshim. I think and the Kiminyan Yud Gimel Midot Rachamim, with regards to the 13 characteristics of mercy. I think that was, and how he was saved from execution at that point in time, he would talk about there. And the Roshei Teviot of the Sefer Givia Yosef, I think it was his book, would add various different piyutim, let's just say, and which he had written over those points in time. Piyut of Rabbi Aaron Asulin, who was Bal Hanes, and great rabbis of the villages of Parkala, respectively, over there. So he was great rabbi, his father was. I think he had great books, including the Oil Yosef. There was different sections. There was Chelek Aleph, which was Parshanot on the Torah, which would come out, I think, from the great rabbis of Morocco would give their approval to that book. And very much so. And I think he had strong connection with Rabbi Yisrael Abu Khatsera, also Baba Sali, and also Baba Chaki, Rabbi Yitzhak Abu Khatsera, and Rabbi Machluk Abu Khatsera, respectively, his father did. I think Rabbi Yosef Ben Harosh passed away at the age of 71 years of age on the 24th of Iyar in Tafshin Zayin, and was, he was a very great rabbi. I think he was buried actually in Rabat in Morocco also, so that's another interesting point to point out. Okay, so we spoke here about a famous rabbi from Morocco who was very much connected to pretty much all the rabbis. He was a really people's person. Rabbi Yehiya Ben Harosh was born on 24th of August 1913, passed away at the start of the 21st century on 25th of February, when the famous דיין judges, Morei Tzedeks, in the city, in the port of Kinitrah and in Rabat, and really much did great activities in himself. And he was a famous Talmud of Rabbi Machluk Abu Khatsera, Rabbi Raphael Baruch Tuldana also. So please, at the time of his Hilula, don't forget to light candles in his memory. Now friends, we are a community here. We are learning about the famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now if you descend from any of the great rabbis we happen to be speaking about here, this channel, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information of the great Chachamim. I really, really appreciate it. Now, if you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos we're recording, please share these videos also to other people, help this community grow. At the moment, we're going from strength to strength, and we don't just record video biographies on great rabbis, we also explore the various different famous yeshivot, the different synagogues, especially in the Oriental countries. We're really trying to explore a depth of Jewish history also on this channel. We tour all over Israel, also we go to different places all over Jerusalem, for example. We like to see the different sites and the different scenes of Yerushalayim. We travel around Bet Shemesh and various other cities also. So I recommend everyone to check out the channel over here. We've recorded already about 1,300 biography videos of great Talmidei Chachamim, great wise rabbis from yesteryear. So my plea to you is please, I'll appreciate it if you can all subscribe to the channel, join the community, and be involved. That's come inside the festival of Sukkot over here at the moment. It's going to be just tomorrow, and we just came out of Shabbat Parashat Hazinu this week. So wishing you a Shavuot Tov, a Chag Sameach, and thank you for watching.